Kyle. Kyle, I always like when people ask this question to top producing agents. What does your routine look like? Morning routine.
Yeah.
Skincare routine on YouTube yet?
Skincare? No skincare. This is not perfect skin by any stretch of the imagination. Although there's more skin every year up here. My morning routine is like a religion to me. It's literally what makes or breaks my day. If I don't do my morning routine, the rest of my day is crap. So I'm obsessed with my morning routine. And I used to wake up around like 7 or 8 o'clock, and I'd go to bed around like 10, 11 o'clock. And then this dude, Sharon Srivatsa, up in Orange County, LA area, came up with something called the 5 a.m. Club. And when it first came out, and some of my friends were jumping on it, they're like, this is so cool, you gotta hop on there. I was like, you're freaking high, 5 a.m.? Like, there's no way. I wake up at 7, like I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock. Like I thought 7 was early. And then slowly but surely I started to think about it, and somebody kind of gave me an analogy, and they were like, seriously, just go to bed 2 hours earlier. If you're cool getting up at 7 and you're going to bed at 11, just go to bed at 9 and get up at 5. And if you think about it, like what good stuff happens from 9 to 11 at night? Like what are you really doing from 9 to 11? You're watching some stupid ass TV, or you're out drinking. Like, let's be honest. Or it's California, you're smoking weed or something, like, right? You're doing something like that. But nothing good's happening from 9 to 11 at night. It's just not. But there's a lot of good stuff that can happen from 5 to 7. So you can flip your life by ditching those 2 hours of useless time and now converting those to 2 hours of extremely useful time. So for me, I'm typically getting up at 4:55 every day. I hop on the 5 a.m. club call. It's a 5-minute call, and it's just a quick little motivational message. It's just something to turn my brain on and get me going for the day. As soon as that's over, on my Tuesday, Thursday, I'm going to the gym. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I ride my Peloton bike. And so I'm working out 5 days a week, and that's usually from 5:30 to 6:30. And then I shower, my daughter wakes up, my wife wakes up, I get to spend an hour with them. And so then I go to work at 8 o'clock. And so by the time I leave the house at 8 a.m., my brain is on from the 5 a.m. club call, my body is on from my exercise, and my heart is on from my time with my family. And now by the time I show up to the office at 8:15, like I'm locked and loaded, like I'm so ready to go. When most of you are barely getting your ass out of bed at that time. I'm already in momentum. Like I don't need my coffee or whatever else, like everybody's morning routine is like, I'm locked, loaded, I'm so ready to go, and I'm hitting the ground running. And I don't have that first hour or two of the day where I'm trying to get motivated, trying to get things started. And in all honesty, the first few hours of the day, those are the most important hours of the day. That's when we're primed, and that's when people are actually answering the phones too, right? There's studies that have shown from 8 to 10, 8 to 11, that's really that sweet spot when we should be making our calls. Well, you better be at the office at 8 o'clock ready to rock. And so if you get that morning routine down, that's really, really important so that when you do show up, you're ready to go and hit the ground running. Couple other things, just for those of you guys that run teams, this is kind of our morning routine for our team is at 8:15, which is usually like on my way to the office. We do a morning huddle, and it's usually via Zoom, which is a video chat service. So we get on there, and for me, it's just making sure my agents are out of bed by 8:15 every day. For them, it's a little pump me up and get me motivated to get going in the morning. 8:30 to 9, they're on the phones role playing. Something I've talked about when I did this event last year is we work in an industry where we have the opportunity to earn NFL money, but we've got to put NFL practice in if we want to make that money. I mean, we made $5 million in GCI last year. That's literally what an NFL player makes, but we're not going to make that if we don't practice like an NFL player. And in the NFL, those guys practice 2,000 to 3,000 hours a year for 16 hours of game time, and they're only on the field half of that game. So think about that. They're putting 2,000 hours a year in of practice for 8 hours of actual performance time. But we don't want to get on the phone for 30 minutes a day and practice. There's something fundamentally wrong there. And think about this, a lot of us played sports in high school. If you didn't show up to practice on Thursday, were you going to play in the game on Friday? You didn't, right? You didn't even get in the game. Bill Belichick sat one of his best players on his team in the Super Bowl because the guy didn't show up to practice. But you guys don't want to practice your scripts? Something wrong there. So we role play 8:30 to 9 every day, and then 9 to 11, the agents are prospecting. And then something we do once a week, we don't do this every day, but another thing that a lot of agents make a mistake, I'll ask you guys and speak honestly, how many of you guys role play your listing presentation on a weekly basis? Look around the room real quick. There's not one person raising their hand. That's a problem, guys. Think about this. We're spending, we spend like $12,000 a month on Zillow to generate leads. And then we spend 30 minutes a day on the phone figuring out how to take these leads and set appointments with these leads. But if you're not practicing what to do with that appointment, what's the point? Like if you show up and shit the bed, what's the point of spending all these hours role-playing and all these hours prospecting and all this money to generate these leads if you don't know what to say at the appointment? Think about that. So a great analogy I use, Peyton Manning, he's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. He'll also go down as one of the least athletic quarterbacks in NFL history. Like that guy running was like a newborn giraffe. Like it was pathetic. He was the most awkward dude ever. He didn't have the strongest arm. He wasn't the fastest, but that guy put more effort into his practice than anybody. He's famous for pulling up to the line, getting under center, and completely changing what play he was calling based on the formation that the other team was set up in. Because he knew if they set up like that, then I've got to set my team up like this. He would change it almost every single time because he had put so much time into his practice that he knew if they line up like this, I got to line up like that. And if my receiver does this, then I've got to throw it there. Like he knew every single time. He could have played quarterback with his eyes closed. We got to get to that same point in our business.